The 5 things that we are going to be looking for are, first of all, the structural roof support, detail of the Ecoroof assembly, roof insulation, roof drains or gutter, and any required fire rating. Also, you will need to provide in your drawing set any structural changes you need for a seismic upgrade. Okay, as we have all been fully aware of from this Ecoroof seminar, the kind of roofs that we are looking at are extensive Ecoroofs, which weigh between 15 and 30 pounds in addition to the dead load of the roof assembly. Review staff will ask for calcs to show that the roof structure can support the load of the Ecoroof. Number 2, we're going to be looking for a detail of the roof assembly. If this is a proprietary system, then provide a detail from the manufacturer. A proprietary system would be one like, say, from like Sarnafil, which is one. There's a bunch of them out there, but that's the only one that really comes to mind right now. If it's not a proprietary system, show us how, provide us a detail and show us how your Ecoroof assembly looks. I have a little asterisk there by protection board and also drainage layer on there. Those are dependent on the manufacturer's warranty. Thanks. Roof insulation, as we have been mentioning before, right now the building code does not acknowledge that you get any kind of an R value with an Ecoroof. Commercial roofs need to be insulated to a minimum of R19 or achieve a max U value of 0.05. Roof drains or gutters. This isn't really a building code issue, but it is a plumbing code issue. Roofs are to have a minimum roof slope of 1/4 inch, which is about a 2% slope. All Ecoroofs are required to be tied into a stormwater system. Overflow drain is required to discharge to an approved location.
When you say that this is a plumbing code, so is the plumbing code separate from the building code?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Is the 1/4 inch per foot required just for an Ecoroof? It's not for other roofs?
If you wanted to have a flat roof, your flat roof would need to be designed for ponding. And as we know from the chart that we have seen before, water weighs 62.4 pounds a cubic foot. The last thing that we're going to be looking for is, and this only depends on what the construction type is of your building. You may need to make sure the roof meets a fire rating. Also, the designer needs to be aware of any wildfire hazard areas. I talked to a fire marshal about this, and he said there's only a couple places in town where we do have a wildfire hazard area, and it's usually out along the bluffs out by U of P. So this is kind of a complete list of the minimum information for plan submittal. We're going to want to know the size of your Ecoroof, and we're going to want to see where the setbacks are. We want, as again, a profile or a section of the roof assembly, including dimensions on it. So we want to know how thick this thing is too. You're going to need to show the growing medium spec, including the weight. Tell us what type of filter fabric you have. Show us what the drainage layer spec is. Call out what your waterproof membrane and or roof you're in, and if you're going to have a roof barrier. Call out what your storm piping size is, and what the material is. They're going to want to see a planting and irrigation plan, and of course, any required structural work. Inspections. Okay, this is a really an interesting one. We're going to want to through BDS. We're going to be inspecting. Oh well, let me back up. The BES Stormwater Manual says the following items need to be inspected: the roof structure, the waterproof membrane, the drainage layer, plumbing and piping, growing medium, planting and irrigation. Now notice that little asterisk of there. Actually, as far as I know, there is nobody in the city that actually goes out and inspects the growing medium, planting and irrigation. So there's kind of a breakdown between BES's code and the building code. I'm not sure if this is an issue that BES will be, addressing or not. But I would imagine that if you're doing an Ecoroof for your FAR bonus, somebody will need to inspect that.
And the FAR bonus is through through BDS and
planning or zoning.
So that's something that's not a BES code.
Right.
So we're assuming that somebody else is handling that.
Right.
But the BES stormwater stuff, or if you get a grant, then we haven't talked about that. So I've made note of that we need to, especially as it relates to these grant projects, that it would appear somebody's not inspecting that, so we may need to talk about how do we get that.
I mean, it's a big deal for our inspectors just to get up on a ladder to inspect a roof membrane, and once they do that, it's very highly unlikely they're going to really care if you have any soil on it or not. So there was a question over there. Yes.
Irrigation-wise, I would imagine if it's a irrigation system, you're going to have a backflow device.
I would assume so.
If I have hose bibs up there and run like a residential, I have hose bibs up there and I run drip tubing off of a hose bib, is that going to get a red flag?
You're not allowed to hook up to it without a backflow device.
You would have to have a backflow device. Yes.
If you have a roof that's already been inspected recently, you just built recently, that appears to have the loading capabilities to carry what you're going to put on it, would you still have to provide new calculations to show that you can do it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Are these inspections that are required to get occupancy for a building, or are these ongoing inspections?
These would be to get your to obtain occupancy.
Well, the ones in the BES manual, since you guys are not inspecting it and we're not inspecting 1, 2, and 3, and 4.
You mean 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, we're not inspecting those, and you're not inspecting those.
We're doing 1, 2, and 3. Nobody is doing number 4.
Right. Right. So
at this time.
So in other words, the last one that nobody inspects, you don't have to have inspected for occupancy permit because nobody's inspecting.
Correct.
Which is a problem. It's a gap that we want to fill.
It's a gap.
So you might write it down, but
it's a
hopefully
gap.
we'll have that covered.
Right.